It's another day, it's another adventure. We return to the What If Sonic Was Serious scenario. Last time we witnessed the events of Sonic Adventure, which played out in some ways quite the same and in other ways quite differently. Namely, that Chaos Zero and Tikal never returned to the Master Emerald, Chaos wasn't pacified, and Dr. Eggman and his robotic body didn't change his villainous outcome. Super Sonic, on the other hand, has stuck around with the Chaos Emeralds, so as we resume this story, we'll see how having a much more present, much more powerful Sonic will change the events of Sonic Adventure 2. So, if you enjoy this video and you're excited to see the series continue, don't forget to leave it a like. In the wake of the Perfect Chaos incident, Station Square is in ruins, flooded and damaged beyond what anyone had ever seen before. But the restoration effort is well underway as the months tick on. Sonic has stuck around and uses his powerful super form to aid in the rescue operations, saving those that would have never been reached in time. Tails is also still around here, and is helping Sonic as well as the rescue forces in whatever way he can, whether it be with his ability to fly or with his technical know-how. Spending time working with these people improves Tails' confidence. His upbringing and history makes it hard for him to believe in himself, but having such a positive effect on the others helps this immensely, and Sonic's mentoring, whilst not as it was before Perfect Chaos, still continues to a degree here and there. Amy is not in the picture anymore. Yes, she helped find one of the Chaos Emeralds, which was great of her, but in this context, she's just like another human civilian to Sonic in the Station Square that needs help all the time everywhere. She's been left to pick up her life and move on. Metal Robotnik, on the other hand, hasn't taken his loss well. Despite preparing an entire backup egg carrier, Perfect Chaos destroyed it in one hit, and all of his plans fell to pieces again. Thinking on how to improve, he decides perhaps he should take a book from his family, his grandfather in particular, Professor Gerald's diary. And inside of this diary, he manages to find the hints of a powerful weapon his grandfather had left behind that's in the current custody of GUN. So, he plots to steal it back. And as we already know, he has a great time at it, going through the prison island secure systems, blasting them to bits, until he finds Gun's secret weapon. And with the passcode Maria, he finds Shadow the Hedgehog. In the original, Eggman needed a Chaos Emerald to open Shadow's capsule. However, since we're dealing with Metal Robotnik, in this one, despite lacking an emerald, he will simply integrate his own neural networks into Gun's systems in order to bring Shadow out, and is just as baffled as he would have been normally. Shadow gives him the same spiel and demonstrates his power by destroying one of Gun's security, and so together they begin to head to Space Colony Ark. Now in the original timeline, this is around the point where the humans started to mistake Shadow for Sonic and send a manhunt after him. But considering now Super Sonic is very present and public, helping people recover from the last disaster, that won't really go down this time. They'll note that there's another hedgehog running around, but they're not going to blame and frame Sonic for it. The villain's plans are going to have to make some alterations though, because Sonic has all the Chaos Emeralds, which means that Shadow isn't going to be able to power the Eclipse Cannon. Fortunately, Metal Robotnik does has a substitute, and they end up going to Angel Island to pick up the metallic echidna that waits there, as well as the Master Emerald. Using this, they return to Space Colony Ark and are able to use it as a power source. It's not perfect because the console in the Ark was designed for the Chaos Emerald specifically, and despite the fact that the Master Emerald has unlimited energy, that doesn't mean that this human-made device is going to be able to harness it properly. It is going to supply enough energy to fire the Eclipse Cannon, but perhaps not at maximum efficiency. This will be well enough for a demonstration at the very least. With Dr. Eggman making this threat to the world, Sonic catches wind of it and doesn't hesitate. In an instant, he uses the Emerald's power to take him into space as his super form. He will easily be noticed, of course, by the evil villains on the space colony, so instead of deciding to blast the moon as a demonstration, Metal Robotnik instead targets Super Sonic with the Eclipse Cannon and fires at him directly. What better way to send a message than to blast the hero of the planet into bits? With the Eclipse Cannon firing, Sonic takes the brunt of the force. He doesn't know if it would destroy the planet behind him, but he's not going to take that chance. This is a planet-destroying weapon though, and he is just one hedgehog. Super or not, it is intense. And despite his best efforts, he's ended up blown back, unconscious towards the planet. The beam dissipates around his body, causing no harm, but he himself took the brunt of the force. His body crashes down onto the Earth's surface with a large impact. Dr. Eggman is satisfied with that for now. With Sonic out of the picture, what else can Earth do but obey his orders? Shadow plays up his appreciation, but obviously deep down, he really wants the Eclipse Cannon's true purpose to be activated, so he plots away. Back on Earth's surface, Sonic's land site has been located and the authorities arrive around him, alongside Tails. Sonic is unconscious and not in the super state, with the Chaos Emeralds plopped around in the crater he made. As everyone discusses what to do, Tikal manifests herself near Tails and encourages him to take up the Chaos Emeralds and defend the Earth in Sonic's stead. Tails looks down at his mentor and idol, unconscious and hurt after just sacrificing himself to protect them all, and grits his fist as he looks to the sky. He was told once by Sonic that it wasn't safe for kids to get involved with these villains. But since then, he spent a lot more time with the Blue Hedgehog, observed how he works, and learned from him directly. Moreover, he knows he was born to do something great, and he's not going to just stand aside as the world is threatened by a dictator. And without even realizing it, the emeralds respond to Tails' emotions, glowing with power and rising off the ground once again, fusing into the fox and unleashing his super form for the first time. The humans around are caught aghast, seeing that someone else other than Sonic could use the emeralds in such a way. And Tails, after realizing what's happened to him, looks back up with determination and soars into space. Tikal follows him as a ball of red light. Eggman notices another glowing light heading towards the space colony. For a moment, he thinks it could be Sonic again, but that's impossible. He just got blasted by a planet-destroying laser. On closer inspection, it's something else. Regardless, they can't let it get in the way of their plans, so he addresses Shadow. "Why don't you show our guest the door?" "With pleasure." Tails arrives on the space colony ark and is soon greeted by a chaos spear in the back of the head. Gah! He turns and there's no one there. Moving very quickly, Shadow the Hedgehog then kicks him in the back of the head again and strikes his chest with a chaos-imbued fist. "You're a long way from home, fox boy." But Tails remains standing. Shadow looks up. What? Tails is unharmed, his glowing body immune to Shadow's attacks. Of course, keep in mind, Shadow has no idea what a super form is at the moment. Tails can't help but laugh. How the tables have turned. Want to try again? Shadow continues his barrage, teleporting behind Tails, striking him in the head, and using more chaos-imbued strikes, but nothing works. "Just what are you anyway?" He revs up a spin dash and charges straight into Tails, at which point the fox bats him away with his twin tails, pins Shadow onto the floor, and charges his own spin dash on Shadow's body. They crash through the metal floor, into the wiring and out the other side multiple times until falling into what is the Emerald Chamber. Splashing into the coloured liquid down below, Tails picks himself up. Shadow struggles to do the same. But the fox notices a glowing green light. The Master Emerald is hooked up and being managed by some strong-looking robot. Tails charges towards the Master Emerald altar and strikes, but before he can commit, the robot jumps in front of the Master Emerald and manages to withstand Tails' strikes. How is this possible? He just destroyed that new hedgehog, but he's met with a metallic fist to the face that pushes him back somewhat. As he prepares for his second assault, on the intercom a voice is heard.
Enough of the charade! Knuckles, end this!
And the echidna puts a metal glove to its chest, which glows green in tune with the Master Emerald. A pulse is emitted, and Tails feels weak. He drops to the floor, and the Chaos Emeralds clatter around beside him. His super form has been ended.
I love the look on your face. What did you expect? That you could just fly up here with the power of the Chaos Emeralds and stop me, the great Dr. Robotnik? What a fool! Now I'll render you to dust.
The metallic egghead descends down on his Eggmobile and exits beside the Master Emerald altar as he insults our poor little Tails. However, flying from behind is Tikal, and she appears beside the echidna, speaks to him, telling him to wake up from his trance and to forego the shackles placed upon him. Her words impact the robot as it clutches its head and it releases a metallic groan of pain, falling to one knee. Robotnik looks at his creation with disappointment.
Pull yourself together! That is an order!
Rising to his feet, the echidna looks at its arms.
What happened? What have you done?
He realizes that the Master Emerald is beside him. He's in an alien place, and he's beside the man that's been causing him nothing but trouble. Plus, he has a large gap in his memory, so his anger peaks, and he just assumes the worst from the robotic human and attacks it, taking him off guard with a powerful blow to the side, knocking him down the steps of the altar beside Shadow and Tails.
What have you done to me?
Nonetheless, Tails no longer has the power of the Chaos Emeralds, so picking himself to his feet, Robotnik orders Shadow to take out the echidna and he'll handle the fox.
You now have my undivided attention, which is something very fatal.
His robotic body a lot more durable than the original Eggman's as he grabs Tails by the tails and flings him into a stone pillar. Meanwhile, Shadow homing attacks towards the robotic echidna, but the Master Emerald glows with power and so does Knuckles, punching Shadow back with a powerful blow, rendering him unconscious immediately. Robotnik then looks towards yet another failure.
If you want something done right, you've best do it yourself.
And charges up the steps to defeat his creation. Knuckles punches him in the stomach, but he doesn't budge.
You think you can best this metallic alloy?
But then the Master Emerald empowers the echidna, and with a second fist, green lights propel Dr. Eggman further down the chamber than anyone else before him, falling down into the liquid pools below. Knuckles, now standing alone by the Master Emerald, is having a bit of a panic attack. Tikal is speaking to him. He has no idea who this voice is. She manifests her appearance and shows that she is an echidna. Tails gets himself back up and heads over to collect the Chaos Emeralds and approach the Master Emerald altar. And Tikal, knowing the urgency of the situation, does her best to guide Knuckles' scrambled mind. And they come to the apt conclusion they should destroy the command console and leave as soon as they can, which is what they proceed to do, damaging it beyond repair, or at least in their opinion, and then they jump out into the void of space. Super Tails flies down towards Earth, and the robotic Knuckles jumps down holding the Master Emerald. Once they arrive, and the good news is shared that the world has been saved, the question becomes, what happens to Knuckles? Tails asks, and Knuckles doesn't have an answer. Solemn and sad, his body forever changed by that mad man. But Tikal, once again appearing beside him, speaks to his heritage and tells him that it doesn't matter what he may look like on the outside, he is Knuckles, the last Echidna, and he has his solemn duty to defend the Master Emerald. But now, he will do so with her company. And so the two of them leave with the Master Emerald to return to Angel Island. Meanwhile, Tails checks in on Sonic the Hedgehog, but he remains unconscious, with no one knowing if he'll ever wake up again. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is What If Sonic Was Serious. I hope you've enjoyed the way that this story has changed from the main timeline, and how Sonic's slightly different perspective had a long-lasting effect on the characters he would meet. Technically, we can keep going with this story into Sonic Heroes and beyond, but I feel like this exercise has run its course, and we've told the story I wanted to tell. Because the further we go, the less and less like the games it's going to become. Of course, if you did enjoy this, feel free to let me know, and if enough people say they want to see even more, I will consider it. But for now, I think this is a good spot to leave things off, with the world being saved, Robotnik being tossed into the depths of the Ark, and with Sonic's fate unknown. He either will die as a heroic sacrifice, or awaken to learn of Tails' deeds in his stead. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. I hope you have a great day, and to see you next time. This is the Mighty Emperor, signing off.